Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here talking about some NBA nut stuff now, talking about some NBA news. So I'm going to get around two here, upload two NFL news videos. Several other shows, got a lot of shows. I'll probably do one more to cover the rest of the news for NFL that I want to talk about. But yeah, we'll get to that after I upload a few NBA stuff here. So we have some NBA odds. The Chicago Bulls head coach, Billy Donovan, is the favorite to be the first coach fired during the upcoming 2023-24 season. He's currently listed as the favorite to be the first coach fired. I mean, they betting on who getting fired first now. That's crazy. I thought he just signed an extension, though, with that team, so that's crazy. When they were number one seed a few years ago, the injuries piled up, and last year were pretty disappointing. But yeah, we have some odds. He's the favorite. His odds currently sit plus 400, nearly in front of Steve Clifford, plus 500 Charlotte Hornets, Chris Finch, plus 600 at the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jason Kidd, plus 700 at the Dallas Mavericks, and Wes Unseld Jr., plus 800 at the Washington Wizards, round out the top 5 of odds. So hitting the reset button certainly is not out of the question, which could lead to a quick firing of Donovan this year, maybe. But I don't think they'll fire him. I mean, I thought they just gave him an extension. So maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. If they didn't, and they have to a bad start this year, maybe they'll fire him. We'll see. That's crazy. Betting odds, I know who's going to get fired first as head coach this year. So Drew Holiday, per Jared Weiss NBA, he credited Joe Cronin for helping him land on the Celtics. Portland blessed me. Joe Cronin did a great job of communicating with me on how I want to proceed. Working with him was very easy, very seamless, and made all of this possible. I mean, Portland is reasonable when you actually have stuff to offer in exchange. I think it's just going to be Heat fans that have problems with him because, maybe, I don't know, but that's insane. Or maybe just made this stuff up, but maybe I don't know. So Brian Scalabrine on the Boston Celtics via NBCS Celtics, quote, every NBA coach and general manager will tell you right now that this is by far the best roster in the NBA. So he's saying this is by far the best roster in the NBA. Well, this totally isn't a biased prediction at all. Who would have thought the guy who gets paid by the Celtics to help the Celtics would say this? Who would have thought? We heard this last season too, and then they lost in the conference finals. I don't think they have the best roster in the NBA. Like, they have a good roster. I don't know about the best roster. I mean, who cares about who has the best team on paper? Let's see how these teams look on the court. So the Sixers had to check in with the Nuggets to get permission for holding a training camp in Colorado at Sam Amick. As for the mental side of it, it's no coincidence they chose to come to the same state where their Larry O'Brien trophy currently resides, or for that matter, where Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic staked his claim as the game's best player with his historic play during Denver's title run. As Nurse saw it, the physical and motivational benefits that came with this place made all sorts of sense, and once the Nuggets gave the blessing that was required by the league because of Fort Collins' proximity to Denver, the Sixers' plan was set. So they actually had to get permission from the Nuggets to have a training camp in Colorado. Man. Joe really had to check in with Jokic. Jordan Poole mentioned he never played alongside a lob threat before. He believes that his partnership with Daniel Gafford could resemble the dynamic between James Harden and Clint Capella. I mean, Gafford's a good player. One of the most underrated big men in the league. He basically called Draymond fat without saying it. So Daniel House praises Nick Nurse. Doc Rivers is two guys ball dominant. Nick Nurse is everybody play together, everybody work for each other. So he's not wrong. Doc Rivers was kind of the two, just gave it to his two players, and two ball dominant players. He deserves praise for real. So yeah, teamwork's very important. Who would have thought? Doc Rivers just didn't have his team playing team basketball. Would just have James Harden and Joel Embiid just be ball dominant, while the rest of everybody was just average players. So Jimmy Butler on people hating on him, be the Miami Herald, quote, "I'm not bothering anybody, people just like to pay attention to what I'm doing. People care about me a little bit, I guess." So he's basically talking about people hating on him. I don't know if there's anybody hating on Jimmy Butler. I think they're just making fun of his, his emo hair. So James Harden was at Sixers practice. So yeah, he actually showed up at the Philadelphia 76ers practice. So there's a clip today. Ben Simmons made 10 straight free throws. Yes. We are posting free throws, ladies and gentlemen. 10 free throws in a row. I guess this is a flex now. Jesus Christ. So, the Sixers are optimistic that their situation with James Harden can be resolved, per Tim Bontemps. Over the past 48 hours, the 76ers had expressed hope and optimism that at some point this situation could be resolved. And, just crazy with the negotiations. He's kind of washed, to be honest. Somebody wants this playoff choker. It's just good luck with that. Trying to, get that situation resolved. I don't think they're going to. So Richard Sherman had a pretty bad take about Michael Malone. He called him out, and he said Michael Malone has only had one successful season. He will be an irrelevant and erroneous, how do you say that word? Not part of the nerd community. Name in the history books of the NBA. And this was a pretty bad take here from Richard Sherman. That's why he talks about that's why he's good. That's why he only talks about football. And the Nuggets are sticking around for a little while, buddy. They have a three really good trio with Jokic, Michael Porter, and Jamal Murray. The Nuggets are not going anywhere anytime soon. They have an elite coach and a great trio, as I just mentioned. The Nuggets have been a good team for the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, hell, even before that, they've been a great team. You're gonna find some basketball guys for the NBA segments on this show for First Take. Cause Jesus Christ, dude. You have a fucking NFL player in Richard Sherman, probably who barely watches NBA, talking about Michael Malone. So he basically says he's irrelevant. Juancho Hernangomez, once again, not part of the nerd community, can't say his first name, reveals he doesn't like being called Bo Cruz. I'm not happy everybody calls me Bo Cruz. Like, everybody knows you, or everybody thinks they're your friend because they see you on screen. Actors is a tough life. Talk to Alan, and Alan can't go anywhere. He can't go to a supermarket. He can't go to a movie theater. He can't do anything, so it's a tough life. Well, his acting career is better than his NBA career. Well, call him Cruz Missile then. We do not care. We're still going to call you Bo Cruz. Per report, the Knicks are no longer interested in James Harden. Were they even interested in James Harden? I never saw one thing that said they were interested in James Harden. They already have two good guards in Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickley. They don't need a wash guard in James Harden. So, multiple NBA officials describe Adrian Wojnarowski and James Charania's relationship as similar to Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Per the Washington Post, the Athletic avoids Woj's tweets due to Shane's preference, and ESPN discourages sharing athletic content neither reported publicly acknowledges the other. So they kind of describe their relationship, I guess, as similar to Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Explain this to me in pro wrestling terms. It's The Rock versus John Cena. I mean, they report on basketball news. It's not that serious, honestly. Like, it's not that serious. So, Stephen A. Smith, I think this is kind of just deep into the files, things that never happened. Bro's him talking to his sources, bro. He has no damn sources. He was talking about Houston had initially been willing to offer James Harden a max contract. However, after Harden expressed to his ambition to win a scoring title, his max contract offer was rescinded per Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith don't have no sources, bro. He's reaching deep into his bag with this one. This ain't happening. But James Harden had arrived earlier today for Sixers training camp in Colorado, and he was actually there. So maybe he's going to stay there in Philadelphia. We'll see. Happy birthday to Derrick Rose, current Memphis Grizzly. Ant is not sewn Rudy Gobert's jumper. I think it was if he shoots a 3 in a real NBA game, I'm walking off the court. Remember that time he hit that fadeaway against the Kings and their bench lost it?
It's like the one we just saw. Rudy Gobert. Oh.
And when he sees the shot leave Gobert's hand, he's just gonna leave he's gonna leave the court. That'd be funny. So Malika Andrews recently filed for a restraining order against Ahmed Abu Bakr, a 41-year-old man from New Jersey, per TMZ. She alleges that Abu Bakr, how do you say that word? I'm part of the nerd community, has been harassing her, Stephen A. Smith, and other ESPN colleagues. The harassment began with messages in September 2022, which quickly escalated into threatening behavior. He even acquired Andrews' unlisted phone number, making multiple calls. He had allegedly harassed First Take host Molly Quirm and was arrested in August for appearing at Quirm's house unannounced. Andrews mentioned that this man had visited ESPN's Los Angeles site, attempting to contact her, Smith, and Quirm. Due to these incidents, she fears for her safety. She requested the court to mandate a distance of at least 100 yards from her, Smith, her fiance Dave McMenamin, and others. The temporary restraining order was approved shortly after her application. And well, I don't think she's a bad person for stuff she's done first, like NBA's, like hating on like black men. But that's not really the takeaway. I mean, What do people gain from stalking famous people? And I don't know why people are like this, trying to stalk famous people. Like her, Molly Quirm, Stephen A. I don't get it. Well, yes, I think she's been controversial for NBA stuff, but you can't just stalk people like that. Deion Sanders urged Sixers star Joel Embiid not to back down from a matchup against Nuggets star Nikola Jokic. Seems like he needs to talk to James Harden as well. So Stephen Curry gets real on Michael Jordan calling Magic Johnson the GOAT point guard, and Stephen Curry just said he's happy to be in the conversation. That's basically all he said. And they're really both kind of different. I mean, they play different styles. So it's hard to compare. He basically just says he's happy to be in the conversation. Woj on James Harden, he talked about he wants to make the 76ers uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. Ultimately, they don't think they'll get the best out of him and make a trade. But now it was today he come back to practice, so kind of interesting what's going on. Woj said this yesterday, but now James Harden's back at practice apparently. So I don't think anybody would give up valued assets for a player with unprofessional behavior. But yeah, that's all I'm saying for this first NBA event. Until next time, peace.